I'll read the opening announcement. Adequate public notice of this meeting was provided by the Secretary of the Board on May 17, 2017 to the Home News Tribune and the Clerk of the City of New Brunswick. The time and location of this meeting and all meetings of this body are posted in City Hall, 78 Byron Street in New Brunswick. Roll call, Mr. General.
Mr. Hush. Here. Mrs. Sadowski.
Here.
Mrs. Seawood. Here. Mrs. Shukaitis. Mrs. Solis.
Here.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Mr. Varela.
Here.
Mr. Ortiz.
Here.
Dr. Caldwell.
Here.
We have the quorum.
We'll ask the acting superintendent to lead us in flag salute.
Ready to salute. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A reminder, the next regular Board of Education meeting will be held on Tuesday, December 19, 2017, beginning at 7 o'clock p.m. at New Brunswick High School here in the auditorium. Is there a motion to accept the October 17, 2017 monthly board meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hush.
Yes.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, the superintendent's report by future Dr. Kathy Antoine.
Thank you. Good evening. District-wide suspensions, 71. District-wide reportable HIV, harassment, intimidation, and bullying, 6. November student enrollment, 10,354 students. Our October student attendance, 96%. October certificated staff attendance, 96.23%. That concludes the superintendent's report.
Is there a motion to accept the report?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hush.
Yes.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood. Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Item number 5, the student representative is not here. So we'll move to the facilities report. Mr. Edward Spencer.
Yes, I'm going to refer that to Ms. Solis.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. The Facility Committee met on Wednesday, November 8th. We are working with the City of New Brunswick to get signage for the Hale Street School. It was the only school in New Brunswick history to be built for African American students. In 1882, the practice of maintaining separate schools for African American students was terminated. And I would also like to report that the Paul Robeson School is on schedule to open for next school year. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. The item 7, the policy committee report. Mr. Benito Ortiz.
Yes, Mr. President, the Policy Committee did not meet for the month of November, so there's no report to give at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. The athletic committee report, I'll call on Ms. Pat Sadowski.
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. The Athletic Committee met earlier this afternoon, and some of the old business, a Play It Smart update, the 2.0 rule for GPA for athletes is being reinforced also at the middle school. Mr. Lowry spoke that there at one point, some of our football players at the middle school were not doing well. And due to progress reports, the study hall was instituted. And out of the 13 students that were having some issues, all but 2 have brought their grades up with the middle school study hall. In the middle school also, the football, 6th, 7th, 8th grade football team had a 7-1 record. Congratulations to the coaches and the students for a successful year. Girls varsity basketball tournament will be held on the 28th and 29th here at NDHS. The teams participating besides the Lady Zebras will be Lindenwall High School, Perth Amboy High School, and Plainfield High School. So if you want something to do that week, come on out and see the ladies play some basketball. The MLK Basketball Classic Boys will be held on the MLK weekend, and it will consist of the Zebras, Piscataway, Trenton, and Franklin High School. We talked about facilities upgrades, a larger weight room, possibility of an auxiliary gym, fitness center, in conjunction with curriculum for fitness. These are some of the things that we're looking at and working out the logistics and the finances. It's just in talking right now. You know that our student enrollment is high here at the high school, so we're looking at ways to make smaller class sizes for phys ed also with a facility upgrade. The new wrestling mat will be in next week. And there's the possibility of a new wrestling coach. Let's see. Facility upgrades also at the middle school, possibility of the extremely old weight room being upgraded also. New business, our head football coach has resigned. The Zebras Shot Put Classic Invitational, that would be with all county teams, and it would just be the areas in which students would be doing the shot put, and apparently that seems to be a very popular winter meet, and we're looking to hold one here at New Brunswick High School. Actually, it would be held in the middle school gym. Girls varsity bowling, we only had 2 girls come out for our varsity bowling team this year, so I don't think we're going to be doing much bowling with our ladies this year. Boys volleyball, which we had talked about previously, we're looking for a stipend, and we're going to try it at a club level for 2 years. Practice locations for the freshman girls basketball team, that also was discussed. We have a lot of gyms, but you know that most of our gymnasiums and our cafeterias are multi-purpose with all the after-school programs that we provide. And also looking at some upgrades facility-wise for our back in the areas here, which would go with athletics, and that would be a possible track and maybe some other athletic type fields, all in discussion stages at this point. I do need a motion to accept the bank reconciliation for athletics.
Is there a motion? So moved. Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hush.
Yes.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Move to item number 9, the curriculum committee report. Mr. Ortiz.
Yes. The curriculum committee met on Monday, November 6th. We had 2 presentations. First one was done by Director of Early Childhood, Mrs. Parisi. She gave us a pamphlet with updates for the 2018-2019 years. They covered program enrollment data and recruitment strategies, the budget, preschool department staff, curriculum and assessment, student referral data, transition to kindergarten, and pre-kindergarten professional development. And she showed with charts where we stand from last year's numbers. The second presentation was on the supermarket career by Daniel Andretti. That's our ShopRite store. He gave us a beautiful picture of what the kids were learning in that program, and showed us numbers of kids that graduated and are working at ShopRite and other stores once they got out of that program. And there's some kids right now that are still in the program and have attained employment. So it's an excellent program, been working very well, and we're very proud of it. That's my report. Oh, we had approval of the health grades 5 to 8 curricula and textbooks, and also social studies grades 6 to 8. All the other business were resolutions, which are part of the
consent agenda items at this time, so there are no motions?
No motions to do at this time.
Great, well, thank you for that comprehensive report. Item number 10, our Public Relations Committee report, Mrs. Diana Solis.
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. I would like to remind everyone that the Ed Camp 2017 will be this weekend here at New Brunswick High School, Saturday, November 18th, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you haven't already done so, I don't know if it's too late to register at this point. It is too late to register, but if you are registered, I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time. That's again this Saturday, November 18th, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. I have a copy of the Rutgers magazine. Thank you, Mrs. Sadowski, for bringing this in. It has two of our former students. They are Jason Gaines and Jaulis Hernandez. They graduated from Rutgers this past May, and they were part of the Rutgers Future Scholar Program. They're both now gainfully employed full-time. Can't really see this. Can you zoom into this, Charlie? Very proud of our accomplished graduates. And Lindsay Sterling, a violinist, she's a finalist right now on Dancing with the Stars, invited our orchestra from the middle school and high school to accompany her tonight in New York and Thursday in Philadelphia after they performed so well at a performance in Asbury Park. So if you go on our district website, it was actually just updated. You can see a video of her thanking the students from New Brunswick and their contribution to her work. That is my report, Mr. Caldwell.
Thank you, Mrs. Solis. It is a great, short, great video, so I encourage everybody to go to our beautiful new website. Item 11, the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey report. One of the things I'm most proud of being president of that board is the focus of really finding jobs for students on the autism spectrum. And so Mark Finkelstein, the superintendent, and the staff have done a great job of really identifying more and more companies who are really helping, we call it community-based learning, but really helping these incredible individuals find employment and really feel very valued. It's not about the money as much as feeling like they're a full part of society. And so that community-based learning employment program is really a model. And so it's very, very exciting. And many of the students are New Brunswick students. And the president's report, the president's message. This is a district that I think, you know, we all should be very, very proud of. We have incredible arts. You saw we had over 200 young people that scored at the highest level of the state standardized test, which means that they would succeed and could be successful in any school in the country. We have tremendous athletic programs. We have a capable staff. And one of the things that I've been saying to folks is that we have a board that's supportive of the administration. We have a great new team. Is that if New Brunswick can't do it as an urban district dealing with the challenges that urban districts face, no district can do it. So my hope is that we have wonderful parents and incredible students, and so that we can all rally together to overcome some of the challenges that we have to really make this a model district of how you can educate every child, how you can involve the community, how you can work seamlessly together to overcome challenges. And as I said, we have a lot of obstacles. Things aren't perfect, but this is an amazing place. And I say this because we went down to the Jersey School Board's conference, and I'm realizing how rare it is to have a district that has all of the assets that we have. And so I'm encouraging everyone here, and as you go throughout the city, to talk to folks and say, this is it. This is our time in New Brunswick to really become the school district that we're capable of being. So I'm just excited to be part of this family, and I'm looking for some very, very exciting things going forward. So with that, we move to item 13, the public comments. Are there any comments from the public? Hearing none, close it.
Hi, my name is Linda Stork.
Hi, Linda. Good evening.
I don't have to sign this first? Okay. So I have a question about the substitute teacher contract. It's for a maximum of $39,000. It comes out to 300 days of substitutes, I think. How many substitutes are we missing, like for last year? How many times was there not a substitute for a class, for a day? I'm just wondering how the figure was arrived at.
Hi. The purpose of this partnership that we're entering into with Delta T is not to cover all of our substitute needs. The purpose is to fill in the gaps for when we do not have substitutes already in district. So it varies from week to week, anything from a leave of absence to planned or unplanned absences due to professional development or sick days, personal days. So it really does vary from school to school based on what's happening in the district.
No, I do understand that. I worked in the district for many years. My question is, how many short, that's the word I'm looking for. How many substitutes were we short?
Again,
Like, how many days for the year?
I don't have...
Because this is capped at 300 days.
It is.
So what I would think is if we're short substitutes for, 400, then we should do that because it's very disruptive when there is no sub. And even when there is no assistant, a substitute for an assistant, I can speak as a kindergarten teacher with very large classes, for over 30 years. And sometimes my assistant would be out for a month and a half. She had to go to a different country. And there would never be a substitute for the assistant. And sometimes there were not substitutes for the teachers. So I would want, while we're at it, I think this is a good step in the right direction, but I would want to see this contract be adequate to cover all of our needs for substitutes. And that we wouldn't have to have days where there was no substitute because we would be able to call on this service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, do you know the answer to my question? How many days were we missing a substitute?
No, I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head the total number of absences for the 16-17 school year, but I'm happy to meet you to get your contact information, and I'll follow up with you to provide you with
Yeah, because I was just curious how the CAC number was arrived at.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good evening, members of the board. Charles Cradaville. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today, and I'm a resident of New Brunswick. Wanted to hear first a little bit more about the resignation of the football coach. Can anybody tell me when that happened, why that happened, and what the plan is to replace the person?
That is a personnel matter.
So you can't tell me when he resigned?
I don't have that information right before me, but he did resign as was stated, and we're actively searching for his replacement.
Okay, thank you. All these resolutions were reviewed by an attorney, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it'd be Mr. Hendricks?
Correct.
Can you tell me, for Resolution E, is Ms. Diane Hendricks, is that person a relative of Mr. Hendricks, your attorney?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Resolution P, I'd like to learn a little bit about what the local share agreement is with the SDA, or I'm assuming this is the New Jersey School Development Authority, right?
Yes, Charlie. On the Robeson project, as you know, the state's building that, funding the full project for us. Paul Robeson is the school, theme school for the community arts. So what we looked at when we talked a little further with the community and with even our staff on that is that the multi-purpose room, which is very similar to what's going on in Redshaw School, as a performing arts school, we wanted enhancements above of what the state would provide through the facility efficiency standards and what they're allowed to fund. So what we're looking at there is entering into agreement with the SDA to fund upgrades to the Paul Robeson's multi-purpose room to allow us a little more flexibility on what we can do as far as performances in there. It really bases on adding additional lighting deeper into the auditorium or to the multi-purpose room so that we can not only have performances that focus on the stage, but will allow us to actually do performances where you may have set up an area in the middle of the, and do a circular or other functions. So in the end, what we're doing is, the project is under construction, there is a contractor on that. We're using the local share agreement, which the state has, which will allow us to put money in through the SDA to fund those additional upgrades for that building.
Thank you. Who is the contractor?
Hall Construction.
Okay. And so this tells me that the board is interested in keeping this space, continuing to rent this space and use this space well into the future if you're making improvements to it?
Again, the discussions as far as renting space, I'm sorry, renting the multi-purpose room for Paul Robeson School. This is the new Paul Robeson
Oh, this is
School.
the new, this is the new.
This
Okay.
is the new one under construction.
Okay, this is not the, okay, thank you.
Okay. Sorry.
And then Resolution W, the GIF. Can you tell me of the two cases I've asked about, the Norberto Diaz case and the other case with the $2 million verdict? Did the GIF cover those, the cost of those matters?
Yes. What was the question? Did we settle the cases and did the insurance pay the claims?
One was a verdict, one was a settlement, but I want to know if the GIF paid for either or both or neither.
Well, I know on Martinez, it was the school board's insurance.
The old one, the one that
The $2 million, that was paid.
but not by the
insurance.
Middlesex GIF, by the other GIF.
That's on the Martinez. Now, what's the other question?
I believe Norberto Diaz,
Yes, same thing.
school board's insurance. And can you tell me the amount of that settlement?
I don't know the Diaz settlement. I forget. I did it one time. I just don't recall. I'll have to check that out. That was a while ago.
Okay, I'll follow up with your office.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Thank
It was like 100,000 maybe,
Okay, thank you.
but the other one, you know. And they were
Appreciate
both
it.
paid by insurance, not by the district, not by the taxpayers.
Understood. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept the resolutions as presented? Or another question? Okay.
My name is Dorian Shank, professional at Woodrow Wilson. Just wanted to make a few comments. Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent in his absence. Since our last meeting, we've had several catastrophes, 2 hurricanes in Texas, Florida, Puerto Rico destroyed, and a mass shooting in Las Vegas killing over 50 and wounding over 500. Several men have been accused of sexual abuse, while the Tyler presidency still tweets, hurts, and insults, and hasn't a clue on how to govern all the people of the United States of America. But once again, I come not to be negative, hateful, argumentative, hurtful, or vengeful, but I come to inspire, share love, encourage, bring hope, and lift up. If we ever needed prayer before, we sure do need it now. Be encouraged, New Brunswick educators. We need not be mired in mediocrity, but encouraged and energized in excellence. We need not be hateful, but hopeful. We need not be faithless, but faithful. Not filled with fear and doubt, but filled with faith and fortitude. We stand on the shoulders of those ancestors that came before us. No storm, no hurricane, no mass shootings, no hate mongers, no rapists, no divisiveness, no so-called supremacists. Nothing shall separate us from God's love or the love for one another. My prayer is that you'll continue to do the good work you are doing. I know it's not an easy job. A long time ago when I had black hair, I was the student representative, the first student representative at East Brunswick Board of Education. And I know how the job is. So no hateful divisions will separate us, and Martin Luther King Jr. was right. We should not be judged by the color of our skin, but the content of our character. But remember, together we are Jersey strong. Together we can find cures to the ills of society. Together remember that love conquers all. Strive every day to be blessed, and more importantly, to be a blessing. During this holiday season, we in America have a lot to be thankful for. I pray for God's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as we serve our community and our world. Please keep Puerto Rico, Houston, Florida, California, our youth in New Brunswick, our seniors, our middle agers, and our world in prayer. God bless you and keep you is my prayer.
Thank you very much. Received. Do you hear a motion to accept the resolutions as presented? Second? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hush. Yes. Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer. Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Item number 15, the Finance Committee report. Mrs. Patricia Sadowski.
The Finance Committee also met earlier this evening, and I need a motion to accept the finance report.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Hush. Yes. Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes, abstain on page 6.
So noted. Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes, I abstain on page 6.
So noted. Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Item number 16, I'll read the resolution for closed session and we can vote. Whereas the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6, provides that certain matters of the public body may be discussed in closed session, and whereas the Board of Education intends to discuss matters as follows: 1, personnel matters; 2, matters of attorney-client privilege. Is there a motion to move into closed session?
So moved.
Second? Second? Okay. Roll call, please.
Yes. Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood. Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes,
We are in closed session.
we will return